Yeah, well, this is a whole long story, which probably make for a great book one day.
It sure will.
But in short form, when I first got introduced and heard about Craig, and got introduced to the idea of leaving, my law practice and joining the Bitcoin and blockchain world full time, there was no BSV at the time, at least as a separate ticker symbol. We have to go back in time here. This was around 2015. There were, for people who followed Bitcoin, and in a short summary for people who don't know anything about what we're talking about, there's been this battle over many years within the Bitcoin world about whether the Bitcoin blockchain, its network, should scale bigger, meaning whether you increase the capacity of the network through what's called its block size to fit more transactions into the network so that they can be done faster and, more importantly, for low fees, so that the network is used for its intended purpose, which we believe from the title of the Satoshi white paper to be a peer-to-peer electronic cash network, meaning you use Bitcoin in daily life to make cash payments digitally. That's not what Bitcoin in the form people think about it today under the ticker symbol BTC has become, because it's become mostly just this investment asset that people buy for, I believe, speculative reasons. And nobody uses Bitcoin in daily life to pay, and that's not what it was created to be. So back in 2015, this was when the Bitcoin community was battling internally about, should we increase the data capacity of the network? Should we keep it currently what it is, which only allows a maximum of 7 transactions on the blockchain, a maximum across the entire world? The analogy I like to use is go back to the early days of the internet and remember how slow it was to download an MP3 music file, from your modem.
All
Right?
day.
Yeah,
Had to wait
all day.
overnight sometimes.
Absolutely. And so, and the internet as we know it today would not exist with all the services we rely upon, including Twitter Spaces here, right? If the data capacity of internet services and applications did not expand. And so we benefit as a world, right, by faster, more data-powered internet services. And so my view, and a lot of the Bitcoin community have the same perspective with respect to Bitcoin, but there was a big disagreement. BTC's protocol developers would not increase the block capacity. Therefore, it wasn't really going to be useful for a daily payment system. Some forces basically decided to fork the network to create a version of Bitcoin that at the time in 2017 was called Bitcoin Cash, to increase the capacity and therefore move more towards this version of Bitcoin as a daily useful payment and data vehicle. And then we supported that for a while. And then in 2018, there was another internal fight that I helped lead, the fight on the side of what is now Bitcoin SV, BSV, which stands for Satoshi Vision, to really just scale the network even bigger to make it useful at the biggest levels for data and even tiny micropayments. So all of this happened from 2015 to ultimately 2018 when BSV split off as its own ticker symbol. When I first entered the blockchain world full time, all of these different versions of Bitcoin didn't exist. There was just BTC. And I will say, when I first created my first Coinbase wallet, it only supported 3 coins, BTC, Ethereum, and Litecoin. We didn't live in the world of, thousands of cryptocurrencies like we do today. So I joined and left law because, one, I was interested in doing something more from a business perspective after 21 years of lawyering. But I was really interested in the idea of Bitcoin and blockchain as the next major data network of our lifetime, because I had lived the revolution of the internet, right? I had been a young professional, worked with companies all over the world on how they could adapt their business models to this new thing called the internet. And then I saw the same thing happening with Bitcoin and blockchain technology for payments more efficiently, but more importantly for data usage, which is not something people think about when they think about Bitcoin. So that's what attracted me to what I'm doing now. And it led to being involved in this multi-year battle over the future of Bitcoin.